What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. It's time for the anniversary edition of Dynamite as AEW celebrates its second year on TNT. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of AEW Dynamite and look at the good, the bad and the downright ugly, as well as the latest news including AEW's new title, AJ Lee returns to wrestling, Braun Strowman begging to get back into the WWE, Asuka turning heel, a wrestler arrested for DUI and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now, as always, we're not going to recap the whole show, but just look at the good, the bad and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, the Joker is wild. Last night's Casino Ladder match was the usual showcase of talent as 7 AEW stars competed for a future shot at the AEW World Championship. Not only was this a match an epic ending for Dynamite's anniversary show, but it provided a surprise when the Joker, aka the match's mystery opponent, was revealed as Hangman Adam Page, who reportedly took time off to spend with his wife, who was expecting the couple's first child. Page is back in the AEW title picture, something some fans suspected might fall by the wayside thanks to the debuts of CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. Whether or not Page wins the belt remains to be seen, but his match with Kenny Omega should be a classic. Number 2, the CM Punk love fest continues. Are AEW fans tired of CM Punk? Well, not judging by the reaction he received on last night's Dynamite. AEW continues to use the Second City Saint well as a wrestler and as a personality, whether he's cutting promos for the fans or providing commentary. It's obvious that Punk has a seemingly endless amount of enthusiasm for AEW and its fans, and the promotion should continue capitalizing on this until there are signs to scale things back. Looking at the last few weeks' interaction with the fans and their enthusiastic response, that may not be for quite some time. Number 3, another awesome opener. One thing fans can usually count on with Dynamite is that the show will always start with an awesome opening match. Last night's 8-man tag match between the Elite of Kenny Omega, Adam Cole and the Young Bucks versus Bryan Danielson, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus and Christian Cage definitely delivered, despite the heels winning again. It's good to see AEW utilizing its amazing array of skilled wrestlers in matches that show the fans what AEW is all about in the ring. Number 4, solid wrestling all night. Speaking of solid wrestling, last night's Dynamite delivered the goods from start to finish, beginning with the 8-man tag and ending with the wild 7-man ladder match. In between, fans had an exciting title defense by the new TNT champion Sammy Guevara against new AEW star Bobby Fish, and an action-packed women's bout between Hikaru Shida and Serena Deeb. As always, last night's matches were only part of the show and each one served to start or continue storylines in the company. AEW has become much more than a spot fest, it's a wrestling promotion that tells stories in and out of the ring. Number 5, Aleister Black is as awesome as ever. Our wrestling is full of wrestlers who have connected organically with the fans, whether it's past superstars like The Undertaker, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, or AEW's Malachi Black. Black, who stagnated in the WWE, has been nothing short of sensational since debuting in AEW, and last night's segment where he took out Dante Martin was the latest example of why he's so over. Martin was cutting a promo where he said he was ready to take on anyone when the lights went out and Black appeared, spraying mist in his eyes and knocking Martin senseless with a roundhouse kick. The fear factor went up even more as the light went out again and Martin had vanished. While it would be foolish to say Black can do no wrong, the character has so much potential that AEW needs to prioritize his push and protect him during the build-up. And the Arn Anderson video. And the ongoing storyline between Cody Rhodes and his coach Arn Anderson grew darker as the Enforcer showed up uninvited at Cody's home, bringing one of Rhodes' suit coats in the backyard. Rhodes was seemingly oblivious to Anderson's presence until long after he had arrived, another example of Arn showing how Cody has lost his edge. The video segment was well done and it showed Anderson's growing frustration with Rhodes, whether it was him slapping Cody in the face or Double A suggesting Cody paint a star on his face, a great allusion to Cody's WWE character Stardust, a character that was partially responsible for Cody's decision to leave the WWE. But that was the good. What about the bad? As number 1, a disappointing feud. The feud between the Inner Circle and Dan Lambert's MMA faction of America's Top Team and Wrestling Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, aka Men of the Year, has been a complete flop so far. Now, while the feud has got one thing going for it, the mic skills of Chris Jericho and Dan Lambert, both are great on the mic, with Lambert representing online critics of AEW's workers and fanbase, and Jericho defending the AEW and its fans. Now the problem is that the men of the year still reek of the mid-card, and they're not believable as worthy opponents for anyone in the inner circle. Now it remains to be seen how Junior Dos Santos will fare in the ring, and AEW could have its first dud feud involving the inner circle, a situation that could hurt AEW's popular faction in the fans' eyes. Now there wasn't much bad and definitely nothing downright ugly about last night's anniversary show. AEW had the usual rate of action-packed matches, interviews and segments designed both to entertain and hype the fans for future shows. But what did you guys think of Dynamite last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story today is AJ Lee returning to wrestling. A topic on news today is a story concerning an all-time fan favorite female's return to professional wrestling. Fans of AJ Mendez, aka former WWE superstar AJ Lee, should be delighted at the fact that she's back in the wrestling biz. Ringside News reported that WoW Women of Wrestling is making a return and Tessa Blanchard is attached with the show. She wasn't the only name attached, because another huge name showed up to announce her participation. AJ Mendez made her way to the stage during WoW Women of Wrestling's big press conference. WoW Women of Wrestling was removed from Access TV, but they're reportedly taking to Viacom about a 2022 reboot. According to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, AJ Lee will not be wrestling, and there's a reason that she chose WoW over the WWE and AEW. WoW approached her and made her an offer to work as an executive on the series. She hasn't shown any interest in wrestling and has a lot of projects in Hollywood that she's working on. Going to WWE or AEW will have surely taken up a massive amount of her time. WoW won't be as busy, she'll get an executive credit and she can be free to get her other film and writing projects going. That's massive congratulations to AJ on a return to the wrestling business as she works alongside WoW in its relaunch. Now WoW has two incarnations, beginning with its short-lived run from 2000 to 2001, followed by its second run from 2012 to 2020. Next up is Braun Strowman begging to get back into the WWE. Adam Scherr, the WWE superstar formerly known as Braun Strowman, is a free agent now that his non-compete clause with the WWE has elapsed, but does Strowman want to return to WWE? Well, that appears to be the picture the WWE is painting. Despite rumors that Strowman is going to sign with Impact Wrestling, Ringside News' recent report is that WWE is not interested in bringing Braun back. A recent tweet from Ringside News' Steve Carrier elaborated on the situation further, saying, WWE is not interested in Braun Strowman. Both writing teams were asked about interest in Strowman before the 2021 draft, and both said no interest directly to Vince, Bruce and Johnny Ace. We were told he's approaching WWE and not the other way around at all. Now he appeared on YouTube Control Your Narrative, and during his interview, the big man claimed that he's turned down astronomical amounts of money from big companies. I turned down a lot of money, like an astronomical amount of money to do this. There are days when I'm thinking about like, holy shit. Every three-letter word corporation out there has made me an offer. Talk to me about what I want to do moving forward. I said first and foremost, I have something that I want to do. One was free the narrative. Two was just having the chance to breathe and live. While it remains to be seen whether Scherr will show up, the rumors about him reaching out to the WWE are intriguing. During his time in the promotion, he repeatedly expressed his devotion to the company, even saying he'd never work anywhere else. Is he loyal to the WWE, or is someone in the WWE stirring the pot by trying to present him as desperate to return to Titanland? Do you think he'll get back in the WWE? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a new Women's Championship. Tony Schiavone and referee Aubrey Edwards provided a surprise on Dynamite. Well, a surprise for some, as we reported a while back that a new women's title was headed to AEW by introducing the promotion's new Women's Championship, the TBS title. Now, a tournament will be held to crown the new champion, just as AEW did with the TNT Championship. Next up, Asuka turning heel. Is WWE superstar Asuka thinking of turning heel? The WWE Universe is starting to wonder after the Empress of Tomorrow tweeted a picture of herself alongside Breaking Bad bad boy Walter White. While it's safe to say that Asuka won't transform into a storyline criminal, she could see herself turn to the dark side, making life difficult for whichever WWE roster she ends up on. Do you think she should turn heel? Do you think that she should go on full-on scary evil? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, a wrestler has been arrested for DUI. Now there is sad news to report, as PW Insiders revealed that former TNA wrestler Chris Harris, best known for his run alongside James Storm as America's Most Wanted, was arrested for DUI on 5th October in Kenton County, Kentucky. He was released the next day and is scheduled to appear on court on 2nd November. But there you have it, guys, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of this week's Dynamite, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.